Let me tell you something. There's nothing more powerful, nothing more magnetic than a woman who knows her worth. See, the most attractive woman is not the one chasing, not the one blowing up somebody's phone asking, where are you? Why didn't you call me back? The most attractive woman is the one who says, listen, I'm not about to beg you for what I deserve. Self-worth is one of the most powerful forces you can carry within yourself. It is not about arrogance, pride, or thinking you are better than anyone else. It is about knowing exactly who you are and what you deserve. When you understand your own value, you stop accepting the bare minimum from people and situations that do not serve you. You begin to set a standard for your life, a quiet expectation that says, this is how I will be treated, and anything less is not welcome. The reason self-worth is so powerful is because it changes the energy you give off. People can sense it even without you saying a word. When you walk into a room confident in who you are, you command respect simply by existing. You no longer have to beg for love, attention, or recognition because you know those things will naturally flow towards someone who is whole and grounded. People are drawn to those who are secure in themselves because it feels safe, it feels inspiring, and it feels rare. When you do not have self-worth, you often find yourself settling. You tolerate disrespectful behavior because you fear being alone. You stay in places you have outgrown because you think you cannot do better. You compromise your values, your dreams, and your happiness just to keep someone else comfortable. But the truth is, every time you settle, you send a message to yourself that you are not worthy of more. And over time, you start to believe it. That is why building self-worth is so important. It teaches you that you do not have to beg, plead, or shrink yourself to be loved. You are enough as you are, and the right people will see that without you having to convince them. Self-worth gives you the courage to walk away from what is not meant for you. That might mean ending a relationship, leaving a toxic workplace, or stepping out of a friendship that no longer supports your growth. It is not easy. Sometimes it is downright painful, but the freedom and peace you gain on the other side are priceless. When you refuse to beg for what should be freely given, you create space for better things to come into your life. Another beautiful thing about self-worth is that it makes you more compassionate. When you respect yourself, you also respect others. You do not need to tear anyone down to feel good about yourself. You celebrate others' wins without jealousy because you are secure in your own lane. You trust that what is meant for you cannot be taken away and that there is room for everyone to succeed. Living with self-worth is a daily practice. It is choosing every day to speak kindly to yourself, to forgive yourself for past mistakes, and to remind yourself that you are worthy of love, respect, and happiness. It is catching yourself when you are tempted to settle and saying, no, I deserve better than this. It is having the patience to wait for what aligns with your values rather than rushing into something that just looks good on the surface. When you live from a place of self-worth, your life changes. Your relationships improve because you only allow people who respect you into your circle. Your opportunities expand because you are no longer afraid to go after what you want. And most importantly, your inner peace grows because you are no longer begging, chasing, or forcing things. You simply stand in your truth, knowing that what is meant for you will come. Respect is far more valuable than validation, yet so many people spend their lives chasing the latter. Validation is that quick hit of approval, the likes, the compliments, the temporary reassurance that someone sees you. It feels good in the moment, but it doesn't last. It's like eating sugar when you're starving. It satisfies you for a second, but you're hungry again almost immediately. Respect, on the other hand, is deep, lasting, and powerful. It's not just about someone noticing you. It's about someone valuing you consistently. When you live your life chasing validation, you put your worth in other people's hands. You start to base how you feel about yourself on how others react to you. If they compliment you, you feel good. If they ignore you, you feel invisible. If they criticize you, you question everything about yourself. This is an exhausting way to live because you are constantly at the mercy of other people's opinions. And the truth is, people's opinions change all the time. Respect, though, is something you earn through the way you carry yourself and the standards you set. It doesn't blow with the wind. Once people respect you, it doesn't disappear just because you had a bad day or made a mistake. Respect starts with how you respect yourself. People treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If you beg for attention, you teach people that they can withhold it to control you. If you constantly explain why you deserve love, you teach people that they can question your value. But when you carry yourself with dignity and make it clear that you won't tolerate disrespect, you set a standard. You don't have to scream, argue, or demand it. Your actions do the talking. People who can't respect you will quietly remove themselves, and those who can will step up. Validation is addictive because it gives a quick reward. That's why so many people chase it on social media, in relationships, and even at work. But validation keeps you performing for approval, while respect allows you to be authentic. When you're respected, you can be yourself. Even your messy, imperfect self, without fear of losing value in someone's eyes. Respect gives you stability. Validation keeps you chasing. Choosing respect over validation also helps you avoid manipulative situations. People who know you're hungry for approval can use it to control you. They can give you just enough praise to keep you hooked, then take it away to make you try harder. But when you no longer need their validation, their power over you disappears. You no longer dance for scraps because you know your worth and you know you deserve mutual respect. Respect also lasts longer than validation because it's built on consistency. People may validate you once because you impress them in the moment, but respect is earned through patterns. It grows when you stay true to your word, when you treat people with kindness, when you stand firm in your values. And once someone truly respects you, they don't need to be reminded of your worth. They see it even when you're not at your best. When you stop chasing validation, something amazing happens. The right kind of validation starts to come naturally. People affirm you not because you beg for it, but because they genuinely mean it. Their praise feels sweeter because you didn't have to compromise your dignity to receive it. You no longer live for approval, you live for purpose. And that is where real confidence is born. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are doors that let the right people in and keep the wrong ones from draining you. They are one of the purest expressions of self-respect because they show the world what you will and will not allow in your life. Many people fear setting boundaries because they think it will make them look mean, selfish, or difficult. But in reality, boundaries are the very thing that allow relationships to stay healthy. Without them, resentment grows, respect fades, and you end up feeling taken advantage of. Setting boundaries starts with understanding your own needs. You have to know what makes you feel safe, valued, and respected. You have to pay attention to the things that drain you, the things that hurt you, and the things that make you feel small. Those feelings are signals. They are your inner compass telling you where a line needs to be drawn. Maybe that line is about how people talk to you, how much access they get to your time, or what kind of behavior you're willing to tolerate. Once you know your limits, you have to communicate them. This is where most people struggle because it can feel uncomfortable. You might fear rejection, conflict, or losing someone's approval. But boundaries are not about controlling others. They are about taking control of your own life. When you clearly express what is acceptable, you give others the chance to step up and respect you. If they can't or won't, then that is valuable information too. It shows you who belongs in your life and who doesn't. Boundaries also protect your energy. Every time you say yes to something you really don't want to do, you are saying no to yourself. You are taking time, energy, and focus away from the things that actually matter to you. Over time, this leads to burnout, frustration, and even bitterness toward the very people you were trying to please. Healthy boundaries allow you to give from a place of fullness instead of exhaustion. They let you show up in your relationships without feeling resentful because you are not sacrificing your own well-being to keep the peace. Another powerful aspect of boundaries is that they teach people how to treat you. If someone crosses a line and you do nothing, you send a message that the behavior is acceptable. If you enforce your boundaries consistently, you train people to interact with you respectfully. The people who truly value you will adapt because they want to be in your life. The ones who only wanted to take advantage will usually leave, and that is a gift in disguise. Boundaries also help you maintain your identity. In relationships, it is easy to lose yourself when you are always accommodating others. You start bending your preferences, your schedule, and even your values just to keep someone happy. But when you have strong boundaries, you protect your sense of self. You don't disappear inside someone else's life. You create space where both people can exist fully and equally. Learning to set boundaries is not about becoming cold or distant. In fact, it's the opposite. It allows you to love people better because you are not loving them at the expense of yourself. You can give freely knowing that you are not crossing your own limits to do it. Boundaries build trust because they make relationships predictable and respectful. Everyone knows where they stand, and that creates peace. The truth is, the people who get upset about your boundaries are usually the ones who benefited from you having none. So don't feel guilty for drawing the line. Your peace, your time, and your energy are precious, and you are the only one who can protect them. Boundaries are not just important, they are essential if you want a life filled with respect, mutual love, and inner calm. Confidence has a way of changing everything around you. It's not about being loud, arrogant, or trying to prove anything to anyone. Real confidence is quiet, steady, and powerful. It comes from within, and when you have it, people can feel it without you saying a word. It's magnetic because it draws the right people, opportunities, and energy toward you. Confidence is not about being perfect. It's about being secure enough to show up exactly as you are, flaws and all, and still know that you are enough. When you walk into a room with confidence, people notice. They may not even understand why, but there's something about you that stands out. You hold yourself differently. You speak differently. You carry an energy that makes others pay attention. This isn't about trying to dominate the room. It's about owning your space. Confident people don't shrink themselves to make others comfortable, and they don't overcompensate to get noticed. They just exist fully, and that alone commands respect. The beauty of confidence is that it doesn't depend on external approval. It doesn't crumble when someone criticizes you or fails to acknowledge you. Instead, it is rooted in self-awareness and self-acceptance. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses, and you embrace them both. That kind of self-assurance allows you to move through life without constantly needing validation from others. People are drawn to this because it feels genuine, and authenticity is rare in a world where so many wear masks to fit in. Confidence also makes you more resilient. Life will throw challenges at you, and people will doubt you, but when you believe in yourself, you keep going. You take risks. You pursue opportunities, and you step outside your comfort zone because you trust your ability to figure things out. This creates a cycle. The more you act in confidence, the more your confidence grows. Each small victory reinforces the belief that you are capable, and over time, that belief becomes unshakable. Confidence is also deeply attractive because it gives off an energy of stability. People feel safe around someone who is sure of themselves. They know they can trust your words and your actions because you are not easily swayed by insecurity or fear. In relationships, confidence is one of the most appealing qualities because it allows love to flourish without constant neediness. When you're confident, you don't have to chase, beg, or demand attention. Your presence alone invites it. But confidence is not just about how you feel, it's about how you make others feel. When you are confident, you give others permission to be confident too. Your energy inspires them to believe in themselves. You become a source of encouragement simply by being secure in who you are. People remember how you made them feel, and confidence has a way of uplifting everyone in your orbit. The most powerful thing about confidence is that it can be built. You don't have to be born with it. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, Every time you do something that scares you, every time you push through fear instead of letting it stop you, you strengthen your confidence muscle. Over time, you begin to trust yourself more, and that trust is what radiates outward as true magnetism. In a world full of uncertainty, confidence is a beacon. It tells people, I may not have all the answers, but I believe in myself enough to find them. That is what makes it magnetic. It's not about perfection or having it all figured out. It's about showing up fully and unapologetically and letting your presence speak for itself. When you do that, the right people and opportunities will be drawn to you naturally without you having to chase them. There comes a point in life when you realize that keeping everyone happy is not only impossible, it's exhausting. Pleasing people might feel good in the moment. You get their smile, their approval, their temporary praise, but deep down, you're often sacrificing your own happiness to get it. Peace, on the other hand, is quiet and steady. It doesn't always come with applause, but it allows you to breathe, to rest, and to live in alignment with who you really are. Choosing peace over pleasing is one of the most liberating decisions you will ever make. When you live to please others, you are constantly monitoring how they feel about you. You say yes when you want to say no. You bend your schedule, your energy, and even your values just to avoid disappointing someone. At first, it might seem harmless. You tell yourself it's just being kind or being helpful, but over time, you start to notice a heaviness, a quiet resentment building up inside. You give and give, but you rarely feel fulfilled because you are not giving from a place of choice. You are giving from a place of fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of not being liked. Peace asks something different from you. It asks you to be honest first with yourself and then with others. It asks you to pause before saying yes and check in with your heart. Is this something I truly want to do, or am I just afraid to say no? When you start honoring those small gut feelings, you begin to experience a new kind of freedom. You learn that saying no does not make you a bad person. It simply means you are respecting your own time and energy. Choosing peace often means choosing yourself. And for people pleasers, that can feel selfish at first. But the truth is, it's the opposite. When you are at peace, you can show up for others in a healthier, more authentic way. You are not giving out of guilt or obligation, but out of love and genuine desire. This creates better relationships because there is no hidden resentment lurking under the surface. People may not always like your boundaries at first, but the right ones will respect them. And the connection you share will be stronger because it's based on mutual respect, not silent sacrifice. Peace also brings clarity. When you stop trying to win everyone's approval, you can hear your own thoughts more clearly. You begin to recognize what truly matters to you. You stop overcommitting, stop chasing after people who don't value you, and stop wasting time on things that don't align with your purpose. The noise quiets down, and with it comes a deep sense of calm. Living for peace instead of pleasing does not mean you stop caring about others. It means you care about them in a healthier way. You stop rescuing people from their own choices. Stop trying to control how they see you, and stop taking responsibility for their happiness. You give them the dignity of living their own lives while you focus on living yours. At first, some people may not like this version of you. They may call you distant, selfish, or difficult because they were used to you always saying yes. But that discomfort is temporary. Over time, you will attract people who respect your peace and who value you for more than what you can do for them. Peace is not just the absence of conflict. It's the presence of alignment. It's waking up in the morning knowing that you are living in a way that feels true to you. It's going to bed at night without resentment because you honored your own boundaries. When you choose peace over pleasing, you stop living for the approval of others and start living for the joy of your own soul. That is a trade worth making every single time. The right person shows up when you stop chasing the wrong ones. Too often we exhaust ourselves trying to convince people to love us, notice us, or stay in our lives. We send text after text, compromise our values, and shrink ourselves to fit into spaces where we were never meant to belong. But love, respect, and effort are never things you should have to beg for. When someone is meant for you, they make it clear. They don't leave you confused, doubting yourself, or wondering where you stand. They show up consistently and without excuses. The beauty of waiting for the right person is that it allows you to stop performing. You don't have to become someone else just to be worthy of their attention. The right person appreciates the real you, your quirks, your flaws, your dreams, your fears. You don't have to chase them because they are already moving toward you. That doesn't mean relationships are effortless, but it does mean you're not constantly fighting just to earn basic respect. When you stop forcing connections, you give space for the right ones to grow naturally. Think about a plant. You can't pull on it to make it grow faster. All you can do is create the right environment, water it, and let it flourish in its own time. Relationships are the same. When you focus on becoming the healthiest, happiest version of yourself, you create an environment where the right person can recognize your value and connect with you at the right moment. The right person doesn't just show up physically. They show up emotionally. They listen when you speak. They make time for you. They keep their word. You don't have to wonder if they care because their actions say it louder than any words ever could. They support your dreams instead of holding you back. They challenge you to grow, but never try to control or belittle you. This is why it's so important not to settle. When you hold on to someone who is halfway in and halfway out, you block the space where the right person could step in. Letting go can be painful, but it's also necessary. Walking away from people who cannot meet you where you are is not a loss. It's a clearing. It's an act of faith that what is meant for you will find you. And when it does, it will feel peaceful instead of chaotic. The right person also shows up at the right time. Sometimes it doesn't happen when you expect it. You might have to go through heartbreak, growth, and seasons of solitude first. Those moments are not punishment. They are preparation. They teach you what you deserve so that when the right person finally does show up, you recognize them. You won't mistake bare minimum effort for love because you've learned the difference. When the right person shows up, there is mutual effort. They don't make you feel like loving them is a test you have to pass. They meet you where you are and build with you, not against you. They aren't perfect and neither are you, but together you create something steady, something safe, something that doesn't require begging or guessing. The truth is, you don't have to chase what's aligned with you. The right person won't need to be convinced to stay. They will stay because they want to. And that kind of connection is worth the wait. When you trust this truth, you stop running after people who don't see your worth, and you start trusting that the ones who do will never make you beg for their love.